Our very last topic for algebra is factorising. Now, factorising is the opposite of expanding. It's a little trickier, but it's not too bad. It involves factoring out the highest common factor, so it's the biggest number that can go into another number, from a group of terms. So, for example, 2x plus 6. Right, so we've got two different terms. We've got a 2x and a positive 6. So if you imagine that the 2x plus 6 is in a bracket, what we're going to do is factor out a number from 2x and from positive 6. So a number that goes into both would be 2. So we're going to factor it out and put it out the front. So we're going to bring our 2 out here. And then once you factor out that 2, what is left over inside the bracket? If you factor out 2 from 2x, you're just left with x. And if you factor out 2 from 6, you're left with 3. Essentially what you're doing is dividing. So if you wanted to factor out the 2, you divide the terms by 2. So it'd be like this one divided by 2 and this one divided by 2. So 2x divided by 2 is x, this one, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Try another one. 3x minus 12x squared. So once again, imagine that it's in bracket. Now, our highest common factor, well, we can factor out a 3, because 3 goes into 3 and 3 goes into 12, but we can also factor out an x, because they both have x terms. So we're going to factor out 3x. So what you're going to do is divide everything inside the bracket by 3x. So if 3x comes out the front, 3x divided by 3x, any number divided by itself is 1. And if we divide 12x squared by 3x, 12 divided by 3 is 4. And x squared divided by x, imagine that it's in a fraction. Right, you cancel 1 from the top, you cancel 1 from the bottom. So this is left with x. Now, what you can do to check your answer is if you go back to expanding brackets, you can do it the opposite way and see if you get the question. So like we learnt in expanding, you multiply that in. So 3x times by 1 is 3x, and 3x times negative 4x gives us negative 12x squared. So notice that when we expanded it back out, our answer matched the question, which tells us that we did our factoring correctly. Let's try a few more. (4g plus 8gh minus 16). A little bit different because now we've got 3 different terms. We've got 4g, we've got 8gh, and we've got negative 16. So what's a number that can go into all 3? Remember the numbers, we've got 4, 8, and 16, so a 4 goes into everything. Oh, sorry, first we'll write it in a bracket. It makes it a bit easier to visualize. Whoa, that's a big line. Sorry, guys. Get rid of that. Okay, so like we said, a 4 goes into both 4, 8, and negative 16. So we're going to factor out a 4. Now, does anything else go in? We've got some G's, but this one doesn't have a G, so we can't factor out a G. And same with the H. Only this one has an H, so there's no common factor H. So we're just going to factor out the 4. So the 4 goes in front. And we divide the rest of our terms by 4. So 4G divided by 4 leaves us just with G. 8GH divided by 4 gives us 2GH. And negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. That's the final answer. Now once again, try and expand it back out and see if you end up with the same question as you started with. Now we'll try one that's a little bit harder. 4x squared plus 3y minus 2x plus 6y squared. Okay, so you might be thinking, but wait, nothing matches. What we can actually do is factorize out into groups. So I'm just going to group these together. I'm going to put my x's together. And I'm also going to put my y's together. These x's have gone together. And these y's have gone together. And then you can factor out. So from this one, the highest common multiple of 4x squared and negative 2x is we can take out 2x. So I'm going to take out 2x. So 2x. Remember, you divide each of your terms now by 2x. So 4x squared divided by 2x. 4 divided by 2 is 2. X squared divided by x leaves us with just 1x. And negative 2x divided by 2x gives us negative 1. And in our second bracket, got 3y and 6y squared. So highest common factor would be 3y. So we're going to bring our 3y out the front, and then we're going to divide by 3y inside. So 3y divided by 3y is 1, and 6y squared divided by 3y, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and y squared divided by y is y. So that's your final answer. So you can collect groups of variables and then factor out. Or as we saw in this example, you can do all 3 at once if they all have a common factor.